Today on Unpacked, our packaging knowledge is gonna get swole. So we are going to look at a packaging conversion that has been, according to the brand, about 3 years in the making. And we're gonna take a little bit different approach to it, looking at really some of the LCA or life cycle analysis or sustainability data on it. Now we don't have the exact numbers from the brand, but based off of a breakdown, a teardown of this packaging, we can make certain assumptions and at least get some directional information on the improvement or unimprovement that was made from this plastic container to this paperboard canister. So really quickly, let's just take a look at this old packaging versus the new packaging, and then we're gonna get into the LCA data. We're gonna try and make this quick. So the original packaging is a high density plastic canister with a just a screw lid on it. It's got tamper evidency. Pretty simple, straightforward, something we're all used to seeing. What they've done is they've converted this to a paperboard canister. Now, what originally, when I first saw this thing, I said, oh, this one's damaged, and other consumers may feel the same, is a depressed lid. And that depressed lid here allows for you to grab this and basically pinch it and rip it open. Now, once you do that, it hangs on here in the back. There's a whole bunch of little perfs around the perimeter here. There's this little, I'm trying not to make a mess. I've already opened it. Oh no. There's this little lid film here, and you peel up on the inside, and then it kind of works its way around, all while tearing this foil lidding film away. And this is what's helping to really give you that seal and the moisture resistance that this product needs. Pretty cool execution. And once you're inside here, there is something missing. Now, I don't know if anybody has bought this and started hunting for it, but there is no scoop. I'm trying to see if there's anything on the outside here. Not at first glance, I don't see anything that says there's no scoop inside. So I don't know if consumers are trying to dig for it. That'd be an interesting insight to see. But they have removed what they're claiming is 90% of the plastic. So there's some likely laminates and film structures on a couple of these components to get the heat sealability, things like that. But they've removed most of it in favor of this paperboard. Yeah, I can see the gloss on this. So there's likely a laminate on this that is allowing for the heat sealability. So what we've got then inside is just this, you'll have this little lip. This is a remnant from this tear out and the powder. And then we're just left with a paperboard canister that is recyclable. So what's interesting is that we're seeing some mixed consumer feedback on this. There's, a higher likelihood of seeing some damage. You don't have the scoop. There's this perception of, is it as closed or sealed? If it falls over, this lid could pop open. Things like that consumers may not like as much. But what I really want to spend the rest of this video talking about is the sustainability. So, we worked with what some in the industry may be familiar with as Compass. We worked with Trayak to pull some really rough data together, largely based off of material and weights and some assumptions that are made about these, maybe the recycled content in the container or some other things. And what we found, if we baseline from one to the other, is that in just about every category, we're gonna put a spider chart thing up on the screen here in a second, but in just about every category that we were looking at, the paperboard was actually doing better than the plastic in this case, because largely there's a significant weight savings between the two. And that weight savings helps really drive down the amount of material and drives down some other things. So the combination of that weight reduction, the reduction in fossil fuel usage, because you're talking about a paper-based structure, global warming potential, which is more than I'm going to get into really in this video, but it really has to do with CO2 equivalent gases that are that have the potential that are created in the process of making this that have the potential to create global warming, and then water consumption as well. So as you can see in the spider chart, that in these 4 factors, this paper canister is not just a little bit better, it's actually significantly better, I think, which was surprising, because sometimes what we see in some of these conversions is actually taking a lightweight material and adding a lot more weight to it, and a lot more material which swings things in the other direction. But in this case, because they were able to do it with less weight and material, it was actually overall significantly better. Now again, there's a lot of assumptions here. This is not data driven directly from the brand. We took this as a teardown, made some assumptions, and based on those assumptions, this is kind of what we come up with. So this is, don't hold me to these numbers, but directionally this tells us that this is not just a little improvement, it's a pretty significant improvement in overall kind of sustainability metrics that we look at in like a typical LCA. Regardless of all the data, we're just excited when brands take a risk and go and do something unique and a conversion like this. So we applaud Vital Proteins for all the work that they did. The package looks great, and it's really cool to see. So on that note, hit us up in the comments below if you've seen something cool out there, and we'll see you next time on Unpacked. Let's go get swole.